What a season we are having in the AIA Singapore Premier League. Things are hotting up at the top of the table. AFC Cup qualification is anyone's game, and we will dissect the last round of matches on the SPL Show. And we have Philippe out back with us, and Deepanraj Ganesan, a football journalist and the host of The Final Whistle with us. Obviously, both of you watching the matches over the weekend. Deepan, we'll start with you. How great is this for Singapore football? It's so tight with the league, with Champions League qualification, with AFC Cup qualification. Great for Singapore football.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, great for Singapore football. It's been wonderful action, lots of great goals, brilliant drama. Not so much fun for the players, playing midweek and then in the weekend. But for us viewers, it's been fantastic action across the board. Not just the teams at the top, but teams in the middle as well as the bottom. I think even your Tanjong Pagars and your Young Lions are producing matches of brilliant quality. So as a viewer, it's been great to watch. I've loved this season so far.
He's mentioned the amount of games that has been happening and the players needing to, rest, recover, play a match, rest, recover, play a match. No time for training at all, Philippe, during this period.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have time to really train to prepare for a game. As a coach, you want a full week to prepare for games. What's going on now? I think the most important is that the players recover, be fresh for it, and if they feel fresh, then they are good players on the field. If not, you carry heavy legs into the field, it's going to affect your performance.
Despite the heavy fixture schedule, the performances on the pitch have been good so far.
Yes, I think clubs are rotating their squad well. Of course, injuries are there, but that's why you got a squad of 25 in the SPL.
Yeah.
So I think coaches more likely they need to rotate, and depending on certain players that are unavailable, they have to rejig their formation sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 5 substitutes, the amendment to the laws of the game for the rest of the season, that has also played a part in coaches being able to rotate during the match, not just from one game to another, Deepan.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the ability of some players who have not been really playing so much over the last few games. And then when they come in over the last 2 games, you can see that they're fresh, they have the energy to bring. I think Arshad was a very good example for Lion City Sailors. As well for Balestier, when Sime Zuzu came back into the picture after missing the last few games, you can see the fresh energy, the exuberance that they have, these players who have not really played as many games as their counterparts.
All right, so let's look at the matches from over the weekend. But first of all, 42, we have to thank you for your brilliant support, for furnishing this wonderful stat. So for all your furniture, home decor and lifestyle needs, go to 42.sg. All right, let's start with the big one. At Jurong East Stadium, first versus second, Albirex Niigata on a 5-match winning streak, going into this against a stuttering Tampines Rovers who had 3 draws in their last 5 matches. Tampines Rovers, though, did beat Albirex Niigata in Albirex Niigata's only defeat this season. Here's what happened in the big one from Jurong East. This is the big one. Welcome to our coverage of Super Duper Sunday in the AIA Singapore Premier League. And we are at Jurong East Stadium for this massive encounter between Albirex Niigata and Tampines Rovers. And we will find out a little bit more on the destiny of the title after today's match. Amirul, Shah's layoff, a little short. And Albirex win possession back. Taniguchi has the option of Doi, still with Taniguchi. To Doi, who's onside. He goes for goal! Important save by Shahzwan Buhari. First chance of the match. And they were slack in possession, Tampines Rovers, almost paying the price. Mehmedovic. Yase, that's good football. Still with Zainuddin Mehmedovic on his left foot. Will he get a strike? Just waiting and gets the shots. Almost creeped into the far post. Seemed to take an age to get the shot away, Zainuddin Mehmedovic. Eventually did. Okawa was scrambling. Ball in search for Doi, but Haki has to be careful with his knockback. Doi steals ahead of Shahzwan, and Albirex Niigata take the lead. 8 minutes before the break, an opportunistic strike. Saw the danger, chased it down, and gets his rewards. Tomoyuki Doi, 9 goals for the season. On red-hot form by Haki's header back to Shahzwan, just didn't have enough meat. And Doi, in such red-hot form, didn't give up the ghost. Steals ahead of Shahzwan and puts Albirex Niigata 1-0 up does find Kopitovic. To Nakamura, good turn. Kyoga Nakamura off the bar, still alive. Headed away by Nagasawa. And that's the best chance yet for Tampines Rovers right at the death of the first half. Lacking options. Memenovic comes short to Kopitovic. Yase onto his right foot. Clips one to the far post, looking for Madu Mohana. Here's Kopitovic! And the equalizer comes! Instant impact for Tampines Rovers. And you can hear the jubilation as they get an equalizer 3 minutes into the second half. And Boris Kopitovic with the goal. Good setup play by Yase. No one marking Madu Mohana at the back stick. Almost a save from Keokawa. It was a combination of foot and hand from Keokawa, but not enough, not strong enough to deny Boris Kopitovic. Well, corner comes in. They want handball, the strike comes in, and they take the lead. Amirul Ladli at the back stick. And Tampines Rovers were 1-0 down. They're 2-1 up. And the pendulum has swung the Stags' way in this title race. And Hanada wasn't prepared at all from the corner. And Amirul Ali, with plenty of time, struck it with so much venom. And it almost burst the back of the net. Madu. Here's Kopitovic to make it 3. Good save, Okawa. Rebound. He puts it in. And Boris Kopitovic gets his second. And Tampines Rovers third. The Stags 3-1 up against Albirex Niigata. They've turned this around. Second half. 3 goals in 17 minutes for Tampines Rovers. The slip by Kamata. They didn't react quickly enough. Kopitovic left all open. Had time with the rebound as well. Keokawa left exposed. And Kopitovic, goal number 9 for the season. Hanada. Oh, that's well spotted by Taufik Suparno, who's through on goal. Takida coming to cover. Taufik Suparno! Game, set, match, Tampines Rovers. Taufik Suparno, the super sub, gets the 3 points for Tampines Rovers. And look at the celebrations. And they've turned this around second half expertly. Another Tampines Rovers masterclass. Sloppy play. And Taufik Suparno, with the angle being covered, just toe pokes it past Kei Okawa. And Tampines are going top of the table. And that's it. The full-time whistle has blown. Albirex Niigata, who were 1-0 up at halftime, have completely blown it. And it's now advantage Tampines Rovers. 2 rounds to go. It's anybody's game. Full-time score here at Jurong East Stadium. Albirex Niigata 1, Tampines Rovers 4. Yeah, so Deepan, where do we start with that one? Did you see that result coming?
Definitely, personally, for me, I did think Tampines will win because I think they have the hunger in them to beat Albirex. But again, the quality that we saw in this game, especially the second half, was superb. I wonder, if there was no under-23 ruling, would we see an even better first half and an overall better quality match? I think Philippe will talk about this later, the 2 subs that they came on at halftime. I thought, they were superb. This is the kind of hunger that you want to see in players coming on, the desire to change the game, and you saw that from the players that came on. Even Taufik Suparno, who came on and scored the goal. It's desire and hunger that changes things for you, and this is what we saw in the game.
Yeah, so Tampines started with a back 3. The wing backs were Ryan Sanizal and Andrew Orr. Perhaps a game that was a little bit too big for them. Gavin made the changes at halftime. Erwan on, Madu on, Singapore internationals, plenty of experience. But was it just a change in personnel, or was it a change in tactic as well, Philippe?
Yeah, so first of all, the personnel change to bring on 2 international players would have added strength to Tampines. But you could see, when they came on, they were playing in advanced positions. That first goal, the equalizer, the 2 fullbacks were in the box. Yeah, so Tampines play this style of football when everyone is on the field. He plays as a fullback, but he ventures inside. Yeah. And when he goes inside, Yase will pull out wide. So it's difficult to play against Tampines because this rotation of players causes a lot of problems for opponents. And I felt Albirex didn't react to it, and yeah, they paid the price.
Actually, sorry, internationally, I think we applaud the likes of Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But you know, Tampines this season, there's been plenty of times where the fullbacks are in the box and they take part in the goals itself. I think we have seen Irwan, Madhu, and even Ryan Sanizal, under 23 player, take part in that switching from left to right, right to left. So much to applaud from the way Tampines play their game. They stick to their philosophy. Even if it was Albirex, some people said that they might revert to a very defensive approach. But this is Gavin Lee's football. I mean, he's not going to change for anyone. And we saw that brilliant attacking play from the second half. I think they really deserved their win.
How much pressure were Tampines under at halftime? They were out of form. 3 draws in the past 5 matches, 1-0 down. Albirex Niigata, technically 45 minutes away from taking a huge step to the title. And for them to come back mentally, you have to give them credit for that, Deepan.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you look at the first half, my personal opinion was Tampines didn't seem at it at all. And before the game, I tipped them to win. And to me, at the stroke of halftime, there was no way that they were going to come back from the display on the first half. But I think Gavin must have said some strong words at halftime. You could see the desire when they came out for the second half. They were very sure of what they wanted to do, which was very evident. I mean, this is not a team that has been changing their football. It's been playing the same kind of football. So I think they needed the belief in the football that they were playing. Because in the first half, a lot of things that they're doing, very tentative. They seem to be going in the right direction, but not being able to pull it off. But I think they needed the belief. I think Gavin instilled that into them in the halftime team talk, and we saw it in the second half. Like you said, pressure. I think pressure is when the big players come to the fore, and we saw that as well.
Philippe, we can applaud Tampines for their comeback, but we have to look at Albirex Niigata coming into this on a 5-match winning run. Confidence is high. 1-0 up, Tomoyuki Doi with the goal. It was all plain sailing for them, and they just needed to see it out. What happened to them after the equalizer and when they went 2-1 down, especially, hits dropped? And they're all young players, of course, and Yuki Fujimoto, the first team coach, said in the post-match interview, mentally, they paid the price for it. Can you expand on that?
So, probably at halftime, they were 1-0 up. Going into the second half, they were a bit more cautious. The thing is, Tampines got the equalizer within 3 minutes, and that shook Albirex. In the first half, you could see Albirex putting higher pressure on Tampines, and you could see Dan Burnett and Baihaki playing those long balls straight into Kopitovic, and that is what Albirex wanted them to do. But in the second half, they fell back. They fell back into their half. Tampines had plenty of possession, and that was how the first goal came about. They were able to put players in the box. They were able to string the passes, and so they couldn't react to it. And yes, being young players. And that is, for me, yesterday was a team of experienced players, where you had Baihaki as well, and Dan Burnett with plenty of international experience against these young, inexperienced Japanese players.
As a head coach, how much does the second goal that Albirex conceded infuriate you? So Yasuhiro Hanada, as a substitute, comes on with Tampines Rovers having a corner kick. He came on for Iman Hakim, made his way into the penalty area, wasn't ready for the set-piece situation at all. The ball deflected off him into the path of Amirul Ali, who smashed it into the back of the net. Now, there is an unspoken rule in football that says you do not make a change at set pieces, especially at corners, especially when you're defending a corner. Why?
Yeah, so we could see that Hanada wasn't ready to defend that corner. Yeah, so as a head coach, sometimes you want to make a substitution, and suddenly you concede a free kick, you concede a corner, and the referee already puts the ball up. And for me, as a head coach, I would say, no, we're not changing. Hold on to that. Let play go on. Because for this substitute to go in, first, he must be very sure of his role at set pieces. Second, he needs time to get there. And we could see from that second goal, Hanada hasn't got into position. We're not sure whether he was supposed to be a man marker, or was he supposed to be zonal marking, but he was doing neither. In the end, the ball hit him and fell to Amirul Ali, and they considered the second goal. So it is for me. If I was the coach, I'll be so angry with myself, for making that change.
What does he need to do now, Shigetomi? We looked at the run-in last week, and we'll have a look later on. But without going into too much detail, as we'll have a discussion on that later, what does he need to do now to get the players back up for it?
Yeah, I mean, they're young players. You know, this can affect them a lot. Surprisingly, the oldest players in the team are Fairoz Hassan and Harun Nizam.
Yeah.
They've been there. You know, they've been in such a situation where they've lost games. Yeah, so for Shigitomi, I think what's important is to get them back on track. Forget about the last game. We have 2 more games to go. It is still possible.
Yeah.
Because it's against Tanjong, Pagar and Hougang. Let's just get that win in midweek, and you know, everything will be fine.
Deepan, it was a must-win game for Tampines, but more than the 3 points, a big victory, comprehensive victory against a fellow title rival. Is this more than just 3 points? Is it a statement of intent that, you know, it's in our hands now? We win the next 2 matches, we are champions.
Definitely, a statement of intent is exactly how I would describe it. You saw the confidence that they had when they went 3-1 up, the way they were playing, the passes. I think what's more important for Tampines Rovers right now is the fact that they have shown that they have the ability to score these kind of goals. Of course, the next game is against Lion City Sailors. I think they go into that game right now with the belief that we can play our football and we can win games. Because you saw over the last few games, they were playing well, not too bad, but they couldn't quite get the goals that they wanted to. But now with a 4-1 win against Albirex Niigata, quite probably one of the best teams in the league, they show that they can do it against the big boys. And even more importantly, I think there has been some criticism before the season started about signing older players. But this game was a perfect example of experience that you need. Daniel Bennett and Baihaki Kaizan were so good in their back line in terms of not defensive work, but you know, urging the players on. You could see from watching at home, they were urging the fellow players on. They had the leadership ability that got Tampines through the line.
Yeah, they had a back 5 of all Singapore internationals and Shazwan Buhari in goal as well. All right, let's go over to the west of Jurong, where Lion City Sailors travelled to meet the Young Lions. No Stipe Plazibat for Lion City Sailors, and for the Young Lions, Ilhan Fandi got a start for them as they look to respond from a 5-0 defeat in the previous meeting between the two sides. Here's what happened at Jurong West.
Here at Jurong West, we're focusing on Young Lions, 7th in the table against the Lion City Sailors, who go into this 6 points off Albirex, who played Tampines, who are 2nd in the other Jurong game tonight. Our officiating crew led by referee Lim Liang Yi, assisted by Abdul Hanan. I suppose you could call this the true Lion Derby. Young Lions, Lion City Sailors. The pre-match fist bumps about to be concluded and will shortly be set for action. Long-range effort has to be tipped over by Hassan Sunny. Well, it was a bit of a Toto ticket, that one. May as well had a go, but Hassan Sunny was taking no chances because it was swerving a little bit and dipped down, and he took absolutely no chances. Good battling from Harris Stewart. They've got an opportunity here that hits the crossbar. Well, my oh my, the hustle of Harris Stewart nearly allowing Ilhan Fandi to score a spectacular opener. Hassan Sunny was rooted to the spot and it just clipped the top of the Sailors' crossbar. What is it now? Best part of 34 minutes without troubling the opposition keeper. That might change now. Decent cross headed down by Shawalishak, and it's gone in. It's either going to be Shawalishak or Arshad. It's Shawalishak with the initial header, and it was Arshad with the second header that really did for Ridwan. So it wasn't a goalkeeping mistake. It was just very quick thinking from Arshad. And that's Arshad's first goal of the season, and it gives the Sailors the lead 34 minutes in. Nice feint by Noor Adam. Now he's got to deliver a telling cross. I mean, it's not bad. Jacob Marler's there. Headed in the air. The goal is open, surely. Off the line. Amir Hakim had to score. Really good thinking by Noor Adam. Jacob Marler left Hassan Sunny stranded. Saifullah. Akari. Drifted over everyone, but Arshad could be there. Arshad for 2. And he's given the penalty for the foul by Ridwan. For the second straight game, the Sailors will get an opportunity from the spot against the Young Lions. Arshad cottoned onto that clever ball into the area, and Widran brought him down. And this could be game, set, match 5 minutes before half-time. So it'll be Song Il-yong. So it's his 7th of the season. Song Il-yong sees the Sailors go 2 up against the Young Lions. Nice shimmy with the shoulder and go. And that was a lovely touch from Song. Gabriel Quack, is he onside here? If the flag stays down, they could be in business. Gabriel Quack with a square ball and smashed home for 3-0 by Arshad, his second of the game. His first goals of the season coming with just 3 games to go. And that was all started by a lovely touch from Sung Yong. Gabriel Quack with that trademark burst down the right-hand side. And when he squared it for Arshad, he made no mistake at all. Young Lions 0, Lion City Sailors 3. A draw against the Lion City Sailors on Wednesday would be enough if things stay as they are for them at Albirex to qualify, as that's deflected to Hafiz Noor for take 2, and he's fluffed it again. How many chances does he want? Squares it, 4-0, Gabriel Quack. Well, Hafiz Noor desperate not to score, and Gabriel Quack can't stop scoring and assisting. Who doesn't miss from there? One swipe from Hafiz, thinks about the dummy, and then Gabriel Quack belts it past Ridwan. 2 for Arshad, 1 for Song, and Gabriel Quack adds a goal to the assist he's already provided. Isdin, Shardan in space, tries to thread it through. They could still get on the end of this, and from a narrow angle, he's hit the post and the crossbar. I think a combination of the two, maybe the left-hand post side foot has struck of Ridwan there. As our referee, Lim Liang Yi, decides that no more time is necessary. It's finished here, Young Lions 0, the Lion City Sailors 4 from all the teams. Stay safe, stay well, and all roads lead to Wednesday.
Convincing victory at the end of the day for Lion City Sailors, but could have been also different in the first half. Lion City Sailors were under the cosh a little bit. Young Lions had opportunities. Ilhan and Amir Hakim with big chances, but well worth the victory at the end of the day, Lion City Sailors.
Yeah, you know, in the first game when these two sides met, it was 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah, Young Lions started well. Lion City Sailors slow to get going. Had Young Lions scored, take those chances, maybe it would have been more difficult for Lion City Sailors. But looking at the squad, looking at the experience that they have, yeah, it's a matter of time that they will win the game. Yeah.
We were speaking about this earlier on. If the season went for the full 3 rounds, as we were supposed to have before COVID hit us, would Lion City Sailors be the team to look at as potential title winners? They have the momentum. They have gelled as a team. They would be title favourites for the season if it was 3 rounds, wouldn't they?
For sure. I think when you assemble a squad like that, so many new players coming in, I'm quite sure Coach Aurelio Vidma would have been sure that it would take some time before they got going. In some sense, yes, the whole circuit breaker, the stop in play benefited them, because you could see them when they came back, they were a totally different team from that 4-0 defeat to Tampines Rovers they had last time out. And what's been good for them is the fact that the goals have even though Stipe has been injured, the goals have been spread around well in the squad. Even new players coming, Arshad, as you saw, have contributed to the goals. Maybe defensively they could work on things a bit better, but you could see that the time out has benefited them so much. Like you said, if this was a 3-round league, I definitely think Lion City Sailors will be potentially title favourites.
Let's go to the big debate, because, you know, the big spending Lion City Sailors, they made the headlines early in the season with the investment made by Sia and by Forrest Lee. I've been speaking to a lot of people within local football who are well known in the local football industry, and they are saying they're actually hoping for Lion City Sailors to win the league, not because they're not fans of Albirex or because of Tampines, but they want to see the evidence that privatization works in local football, because you put the investment in, you qualify for the Asian Champions League, you get the mileage of playing on a continental stage, your sponsors get the mileage as well. Are you in favor of that? Is this the perfect example that privatization does work, Philippe?
Yeah, I fully agree that this is working. Let's just look at the first team. Look at the teams below. Look at their academy. You know, we read about reports that they're going to build a new academy worth $10 million. So I think privatization will be good in general for the whole of Singapore football. We just can't have only one club. Imagine this 10 clubs all fully privatized. And yeah, definitely football will improve, and the livelihood of footballers will improve as well.
Yeah.
And you know, then everything, the interest is there, everybody's interested. And then yeah, it's definitely good for the game.
I mean, Duncan, sorry, I don't necessarily think that Lion City Sailors have to win the league to show the merits of privatization. You just look at the squad that is playing now. I think in these few months that Aurelio Vidma, because they privatized, they could get a coach of his stature. He has come in. You look at the local players involved in Lions City Sailors, Akari Abdullah, Gabriel Kwok, I'm sure you'll speak about him later on. They've all improved as individual players, and I think this is down to good coaching. I think when you get good coaches in, you're going to see the benefits to your players. And Lions City Sailors are showing that they're doing things the right way. If we do things the right way, the results will show, players will improve. And there are so many players in the squad. I'm just naming 2 players offhand, but there are so many you can look at them and realize they've gotten so much better over this past season.
I will play devil's advocate, all right? It's good for Singapore football, but we need more investors to come in and more clubs to be privatized. Otherwise, we would see something similar to the Scottish League. Well, I know it's different now with Celtic, but for a very long time, Celtic would win the Scottish League and everyone else would just fight for second position because of the financial ability they have compared to the other teams. Agree?
We don't have to look so far, just look across the causeway. JDT is dominating Malaysian football. But they are going places, isn't it? You know, they put Malaysia on the Champions League map. They're able to play with the big guns now. So if we have to, for the next maybe 2-3 years, with only Lion City Sailors flying the Singapore flag, let's so be it, because then if it's flying a Singapore flag, yeah, of course, I personally hope that, you know, the full league can be privatized. More Forest leagues to come on board,
Yeah.
and we can bring good quality foreigners in, and it will make football more exciting. And then the fans will turn up at the stadiums for sure.
Yeah, I would pay big money to see Forest Lee and TMJ go on a Twitter spat at some point in the future. Let's talk about Gabriel Kwok. 5 goals, 7 assists for the season. Contender for Player of the Season, Deepan?
Definitely a contender for Player of the Season. I've been impressed by how his game has evolved. You can see him, when he was at Warriors, you could see him play centrally. But this season, he has done that as well as do well out wide as well. I think the game against Geylang, you could see that he was so confident in pulling off the tricks. We haven't always seen that. I think Gabriel has been a player who thrives off confidence. I think right now Aurelio has given him the confidence. He's a leader as well. I think with age, he has taken on that leadership role very well. He's leading the players. You could see bits and pieces of him speaking to the younger players when he's on the pitch. In terms of his goal ratio as well as the assists, done so well this season, and it's all because of the players around him. I think when you play with better players, you lift up your game,
Yeah.
and I think we're seeing clear evidence of that.
Philippe, let's touch just on one point on the young Lions. 9 goals conceded against Lion City Sailors over 2 matches, none scored. But in the 2 matches they've played against Lion City Sailors, they've played well. They haven't really been overwhelmed just by the scoreline. Just paying the price for lack of experience and being naive tactically.
Definitely lack of experience, you know. I've said this before, many of these players were playing in the under-18s before this, and now suddenly they're playing against pros. And they need to be in these kind of situations to learn, and they need to learn fast. But really, if not, they play in the under-18s league, it's going to be too easy for them.
Yeah.
So it's a bit tough for them now, but we could see the improvement in the players. But still, you know, they get punished by little mistakes. Like you said, naive in tactics sometimes. Yeah.
All right, so let's have a look at the matches that happened on Saturday, where the focus was on the AFC Cup. 3 teams vying for the 4th position, which is the final AFC Cup qualification spot. And over at Bishan Stadium, Balestier Khalsa took on Geylang International. Balestier coming into this on a 5-game streak of no wins at all, although their last win did come against Geylang International.
A very good afternoon to a slightly overcast Bishan Stadium in the heart of Singapore for match day 12 in the AIA Singapore Premier League for Balestier Khalsa and Geylang. It's the Tigers against the Eagles. Balestier in a rotten run of form that they'll hope will come to an end today, and they're also looking to pick up their first home win of the season. Has to take a touch, can't hit it first time. Zuzu passes it to Oshido! Good save, Hyrule. Nice football this for Balestier Khalsa in the opening quarter of an hour. Over the top, looking for Kiki Krajcek, and he's away at the races, trying to play in Zuzu, and Zuzu's onside, he's through! No, the flag went up late. Zuzu buries it, it won't count. And I have to say, I think the assistant referee has got that spot on. Probing ball over the top, and there's a backheader that might fall for Maguire! Great stop from Zeifel. Defensive slip up, it was more of a hit and hope, that effort to try and play them in. Maguire got on the end of it, Zeifel equal to it. That's a strong, strong stop. Now Barry Maguire with some freedom in midfield, and he's played that through, looking for Kawanism, and may still get there, goes down. This could be a red card. It's just outside the area. Well, if he's not given a penalty, it's got to be a red card, surely. If he gives the penalty, the double jeopardy's in play, but it's outside the area, and if that's not a red card, I do not know what is. Maguire! Oh, what a save from Zeifel. Second world-class save he's made in this first half. And Balestier dodge a bullet there. Geylang could be in some bother. Doesn't look fully fit, Zuzu, does he? He's not running at his top pace, but there's nothing wrong with the burst of speed there. Zuzu, Krajcek, 1-0, Balestier Kausa. Marko Krajcek loves that goal, and with good reason. Stunning goal. Zuzu, well, I take back what I said about him not looking fully fit. That burst of speed, the pullback, and the finish from Kiki Krajcek for his third of the season gave Hyrule absolutely no chance. No win for Balestier Kausa. Just to remind you, we'll see them go second, and the snapshot spilled and it's gone in. Well, that could be the goal that kills the game off, and Hyrule's had a howler. The long throw, the poor defensive header away to the edge of the area, and Hyrule, well, that's the very definition of a howler. Not that Haswan Halim minds. He scored his third of the season. If Zuzu can move this quickly, they could be in business. Oh, look at that from Zuzu. That's exquisite. Exquisite stuff from Zuzu. My oh my, if they score from this, it'll be a worldie. Krajcek again. Zulfaimi wants it. Krajcek to the edge of the area. Oh, please finish this, Zuzu. Zulfaimi, it'd be a beauty. Oh, Zulfaimi skewed it wide. That would have been one of the goals of the season after marvellous work. Imagine how tired those legs are from Zuzu with 83, nearly 84 minutes on the clock. The ball kept to his feet like there was string tied to his boots, left them all standing, played in Kiki Krajcek, I think knew that he wanted Zuzu to try and finish it off, and when he squared it to the giant number 10, he opted to give it to Zulfaimi, probably because he was exhausted after all that work. Head this ball away from danger, because you just can't see Geylang doing twice in 1 minute what they didn't do through 93. Edge of the area! Snapshot just wide. It was not a million miles away. It's finished 3-2 at Hougang, and it's finished 2-1 to Balestier Kausa here. A well-earned win by the Tigers, who bounced back after a winless run of 5 games. They have scored 2 second-half goals, the first of which you won't see a finer counter-attacking goal anywhere in Asia. But Kausa, in what could be a defining moment in the race for the second AFC Cup spot, and now above Geylang International, they move into 4th, and they have got a better goal difference than the Eagles as well.
Yeah, plenty of twists and turns this season. I put a stat up that Balestier, coming to this, no wins in 5. Geylang International could have more or less sealed AFC Cup qualification with victory. And then this comes, and this happens. Did Geylang blow it?
Yeah, it was a good chance for Geylang to notch the 3 points, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
They would have qualified.
More or less, yes.
Yeah. But this game, Zeifel played such a big part. Yeah. So again, we talk about the experience versus the young. So we talk about Zeifel against Hyrule, and those 2 big saves by Zeifel off Barry Maguire kept them in the game. And then, Balestier came and took the lead, and there was no way back.
I mentioned at the start of the season, Deepan, that Balestier, going forward, they have players that can light up the league, and one of the best attacking forward lines in the league as well went on form. Did we see evidence of that?
I think definitely. If you look at the first game of the season, the first few games rather, we saw another foreign centre-back for Balestier Kausa, Bruno.
Yeah.
I think if he had stayed fit for them, we will be seeing Balestier in top 3 at the very least.
Yeah.
Because they are a fantastic team going forward. You look at the quality of foreigners across the league, I think it doesn't get much better than what Balestier have. Hoshino, Krajcek, you saw Zuzul, how he played in this game. Fantastic going forward. I think at the back, they suffer a bit in the last few games because there's been no experience in the back line. I think Bruno, if he was there, like I said, would have been so much different. I think they would have easily qualified for the AFC Cup by now.
Wow, amazing. And for Geylang International, we speak about the all-local front line that they have. Only 13 goals this season. I think the 3rd worst scoring record in the league. They did have, we have to go way back now, Gilson Varela, that was brought on very early on in the season. He didn't even see the start of the season, I think. Had to leave through mutual understanding with the club. Have they paid the price? And now I'm not putting down Iqbal, Faris, Van Huysen up front for them. But do they lack perhaps a killer striker, a foreign striker there?
Definitely. You know, the only out-and-out striker for me in that club currently is Khairul Nizam, and of course young Zikos. But you know, for young Zikos, he has much to learn. Yeah. But Nizam is a out-and-out striker. But you know, injuries often sets in, and yeah, I think Geylang they had a good target man this year. Definitely, you know, the young local strikers will feed off him, and they would have done much better.
Just to add on to that, I think another reason why they probably don't score as many goals is the rotation that takes place. Like Philippe mentioned, sometimes it's because of injury that Khairul Nizam drops out from team. But you look at their lineups over the last few games, sometimes it's Faris up front who starts, sometimes it's Zikos, sometimes it's Nizam and Zikos. So I think you don't have that familiarity in terms of the midfielders linking up with the attackers, which has played a part in why they have not scored as many goals as we would love to this season.
Are they the epitome of inconsistency? Geylang International, 5 wins, 1 draw, 6 defeats. So in a way, either they win or they lose, and perhaps could they have made some of those draws, some of those losses into draws, and perhaps they will be in a better position, Deeps?
Definitely, because you look at the team, in terms of quality players, I think they do have it, not just in defense, in midfield and attack. Faraz Kasman and Barry Maguire, this is a midfield that any coach would love to have. But they have been very inconsistent. I know some games they put up performance that have been so good, and then they give performance like the ones against Lion City Steelers that we saw. It was terrible performance, and you realize sometimes is it because is it a confidence issue? Because when they are in the flow, they are really one of the best sides to watch. But when they're off it, they are really the worst side, I would say, in the league. Because even young Lions, you could give them an excuse of maybe inexperience, but this Geylang team has the players to play. And if they are giving this kind of performance like against Balestier that we saw and then Lions City Steelers, it's shameful to say, because with these kind of players, you'll be expecting far better performance. I think they have the players to seal AFC Cup, actually.
Now, saying it as it is, that's why you're on the show, Deepan. Well worth the appearance fee on the SPL show. All right, so the result at Bishan Stadium left the door open for Hougang United, who took on a winless Tanjong Pagar United at the Hougang Stadium. It ended up being a 5-goal thriller. As we see the officials making their way on the pitch. And forced ones with Justin Hui coming on, with Farhan Zulkifli suspended, and M. Anumanthan fit again to start. And then we have Luis Jr., the main man, number 10, a Brazilian with the flair that today could be the day that they get the first win of the season. Amirul, Suhairi, Raihan doesn't find Kenji. Here's Shawal, who doesn't find the back of the net. Well, you would have bet your bottom dollar on Shawal Anwar finishing that one-on-one against Kenji Rushdi. Nishikawa somehow manages to keep that in play and keep possession up against Lionel Tan. Nishikawa has Junior in the area. Still with Nishikawa. Still with Nishikawa. And Luis Junior, far post, the ball goes in. No flag, and that's a goal. Tanjong Pagar United take the lead. After great work by Shodai Nishikawa, Farihid Farkan will claim it. Luis Junior will take the assist, but the plaudits will go to Shodai Nishikawa. Look at Luis Junior, not offside. Good call by the assistant referee. As they look to respond here, Hougang, Afiq Noor, still with Afiq. They're asking for handball. The referee points to the spot. And almost immediately, Hougang United have the opportunity to respond from the penalty spot. The referee has pointed to the spot because of the handball. Shawal to level the scores, and does. Down the middle, cool as you like, 1-1. And well, needs confidence to just hit it down the middle just like that. There's Kwok. Some real estate in front of him. Fabian Kwok. Nazrul. Deep ball into the area. Look at the space here for Justin Hui. Justin out to Afiq Noor. Still with Afiq Noor. Ball into the area. Aplin puts Hougang United in the lead. They were 1-0 down. They're 2-1 up. And Anders Aplin with the goal. His second for the season. There's still life in Tanjong Pagar United, especially with Luis Jr. on the pitch. This magic feats. Here is Luis Junior, goes for goal from range. And somehow, that has found the back of the net. Ridwan Barudin has made an absolute mess of that one. And Tanjong Pagar United have leveled things up. Well, not for the first time this season. The Hougang United goalkeeping department letting their side down. So have to keep a close eye on him. How much he has left in the tank. His grueling schedule. Farid's good ball in. Farid's having. And what a save. Ridwan Barudin has made up for his error with a top-class save, denying Surya Prakash from point-blank range. Quick throw to Nishikawa. They've fallen asleep, Hougang. Ball into the area, looking for Luis Junior. Headed away by Muhaimin. And Kwok will complete the clearance as far as Suhairi thought of having a goal. He will have a goal. Takes a deflection off the bar. Suhairi scored a spectacular goal. His only one this season. And almost got another. And so Shafiq Ghani will set Hougang United forward. Faiz gets past Farid and Shabil. And finds Nazrul in the area. Nazrul goes down. And penalty to Hougang United. Nazrul brought down after great work in the build-up. Left-footed strike coming up. He's already been beaten once, and he's beaten twice. And Shafiq, with a quality penalty, sends it past Kenji. And Hougang are 3-2 up. Chose the right way as well, Kenji, but just too much power behind it. And that's it. A 5-goal thriller here at Hougang Stadium ends in the favor of Hougang United. Final score here, confirmation, it's Hougang United 3, Tanjong Pagar United 2. Yeah, for many reasons, it is a season to forget for Hougang United, Deepan. But still, in with a shout of qualifying for the AFC Cup, and it would be a success for them. I know Clementio said in an interview that if they do not improve on last season's result and last season's finish, then it would be considered failure for them. But with everything that's gone on at the club, qualifying for AFC Cup from 4th position, that would be success for them.
Definitely success for them. You are looking at a team that has galvanized together over the last few games because so much has been said about the foreigners going away and that they would struggle. But I think personally, we were talking about this before the show, that I personally feel that they've looked better without Zach Anderson and Charlie Mitchell. And kudos to the team, the locals, for stepping up when it was needed to. But one point that I'd like to make here is, when you look at foreigners across the league, I would hope that you cannot compare locals with foreigners, because right now I shouldn't even be saying that the Hougang team looks better without the foreigners, because foreigners are here to add that quality to the team. But the very fact that I can say that this local team now looks better than the one that was before says a lot. And kudos to Clementio and the coaching staff for getting these locals riled up, and they look good for the victory. I think, of course, the goalkeeping errors aside, it was a good victory for them. Yeah,
Clementio doesn't really crack a smile, but when I told him about the scoreline that Balestier beat Geylang International, I think I saw a little bit of a smile there, a little bit glimmer of hope. Philippe, for Tanjong Pagar United, they took the lead, 1-0 up, and just from kickoff conceded the penalty. Now, again, there's this old adage that says you're most vulnerable after you score a goal. Why? Why is that saying that goes around in football?
So when we said that we score goals, let's not celebrate too much, because then your focus, you lose your focus. And yes, the first few 1-2 minutes after you score a goal, it's crucial, because the opponents are determined to come back. And that's when you need to make sure you have a leader there to say, hey, come on, let's keep our heads and let's not give this away. But yeah, immediately from the 1-0 lead, they've given away a penalty.
Is it because the players are on a high, they just scored a goal, especially the goal scorer there, everyone's just G'd up that they forget there's a game of football to go on? Is that the reason? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a mental game.
Yeah.
Some of the players switching off. Yeah.
Yeah. Tanjong Pagar United still in search for their first win of the season. And, they're running out of games. Do you see them, Deepan, as well, them getting a win at least this season?
It was always going to be tough for them because...
we look at final day, by the way.
Yeah, but it was always going to be tough for them because this is a squad that was assembled at the last minute. Yeah. But I would like to be positive about them. I think that lots of their local players have developed over the course of the season as well. I think I'm talking about the likes of Shabil. I'm talking about the likes of Farin Fakan, who scored his first professional goal. I think next season, if these players are still around, I think they will get better under the tutelage of Hazrin, and of course Noor Alam Shah. Like I said, let's focus on the positives. I think they have done pretty well for themselves. I mean, without a win, of course, but given the fact that they were assembled so last minute, I think they have done pretty well for themselves.
Yeah, still have an opportunity. Last game of the season against the Young Lions. All right, let's have a look at the results as we recap what happened over the weekend. And Balestier Khalsa getting a big victory at Bishan Stadium over Geylang International, 2-0 there. Hougang United putting themselves back in contention for AFC Cup qualification with an important 3 points there in a 5-goal thriller at Hougang Stadium. On Sunday, big results for Lion City Sailors, 4-0 over the Young Lions. And at Jurong East, Albirex Niigata, who led the table coming into this, 2 points over Tampines Rovers, now find themselves in second position. The Stags leading the way after a 4-1 away victory. All right, so this is how the table looks like. We have color-coded it in red for AFC Champions League qualification. Tampines Rovers leading the way on 27 points, Albirex Niigata on 26. Let's congratulate, by the way, Lion City Sailors for qualifying for Asian competition next season. Whether it is AFC Cup, whether it is Champions League, they are guaranteed Asian football next season, and that'll be great for, well, a new club in a way for them. So tight though. Balestier Khalsa, Geylang International, Hougang United, all vying for the final AFC Cup qualification spots that will see direct entry into the AFC Cup. 1 point separating Balestier, Geylang and Hougang United. How exciting it is. Young Lions and Tanjong Pagar United will fight it out and battle it out to avoid being in the last position come the end of the season. All right, let's have a look at the top scorers list. Stipe Plazibat wasn't involved in the match against the Young Lions, still remains on 14. Kopitovic and Tomoyuki Doi have made some movement, both of them on 9 goals. Song Yong on 7. And look at Gabriel Kwek, top local goal scorer on 5 goals. All right, this is my favorite part of the show now. Let's have a look at the title run-in. Made very much more interesting after the results over the weekend. Tampines leading the way. I still say they do have the tougher run-in, taking on Lion City Sailors and then the Eastern Derby to end it off against Geylang International, who could be in contention for AFC Cup football by then. Albirex have the easiest of the three. Tanjong Pagar United and against Hougang United away. Hougang again might be playing for AFC Cup qualification. Lion City Sailors, we're putting him there, but is it too much? They need some crazy results to go their way to win the title, but still in contention for Champions League football if they do beat Tampines Rovers, and then if Tampines do drop points against Geylang International. Philippe, it's all changed since the last episode. You and Akbar were fencing a draw between Albirex and Tampines. Now let's rip those up to shreds here. How has this changed the run-in?
So this upcoming game between Tampines and Lion City Sailors, that's going to be the big one, isn't it? Lion City Sailors, if they beat Tampines, they're in with a shout.
Yes.
But if Tampines beat Lion City Sailors, very likely then, based on form, they should be champions. But saying that, you know, Deepan said Geylang blow hot and cold. You really don't know what will happen on the final day. It's really interesting. Because Albirex may not beat Hougang at Hougang Stadium.
Oh wow, you're going there.
Yeah, because in 2016, no, in 2017, when I was there, we managed to beat Albirex 2-1 at Hougang Stadium. So I know Albirex don't like to play on cow grass fields.
Yes.
They like to play on their AstroTurf, where they could zip their passes, you know, with speed, and it stays on the ground. And that Hougang ground now, you know how it is.
Yes.
It's not, the ball's not going to stay on the ground. It's going to bobble here, and they're going to need more time. We may see an upset there on the final day.
It's a very heavy pitch, the Hougang Stadium pitch at the moment. Deepan, having a look at the title run-in, what do you make of it?
Fantastic last day, I think, for sure, that's coming up. But first of all, brilliant insights about, you know, the field itself, the grass that will come into factor. I think that's not something that many people will know. But I think the Tampines and Lion City Sailors game is super important. I think the extra quality on both ends will be the proof in the pudding. So I think if Stipe can recover and play in that game, I think it will be a big boost for Lion City Sailors. And I reckon Jordan Webb is back for this game as well. So I think Tampines Rovers will have a shot in the arm because of that. So I think in that game, I think it's the extra quality that will tell whether it's Jordan Webb, Stipe or Gabriel that will come to the fore. We have to wait and see. But I personally reckon that Tampines will just edge it.
Okay, beyond the realms, not beyond the realms of possibility, but Tampines Rovers can seal the deal on Wednesday if they do get victory against Lion City Sailors and Albirex Niigata lose to Tanjong Pagar United, who have not won at all this season, but they could wrap up the title as early as Wednesday. Philippe, I'm not going to get you involved with this. I'm going to leave it for the next episode. You'll be with us all the way through. Deepan, let's play a game here. All right? So Tampines Rovers against Lion City Sailors and Geylang International on 27 points. How many points do you expect them to get from those two games?
You know what? You're putting me on the spot, but
Yes,
I'll be honest. I see them winning both games. And this is because of that second half performance. I think that this second half performance that they had against Albirex will really fuel them over these last two games. And I think we will see that. I think the last game is a bit tricky. Like you say, it's a derby game and you don't know what to expect from Geylang. But I think if they win that game against Lion City Sailors, they'll have the confidence to go and beat Geylang as well. So I see 6 points from those games.
Philippe, if they do beat Lion City Sailors, 2 wins from arguably the 2 toughest matches of the season, they would go into that final game on massive confidence. Obviously, complacency won't come into it with the title on the line. If they do win against Lion City Sailors, going to Geylang International, off wins from Albirex and Lion City Sailors, you do feel like it's destiny for them to go and complete the win and lift the title at the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely, because like I said, they have experienced players there. And on the bench, you have a guy, Mustafik Farudin, who is also experienced, and he has won many things, you know. I'm very sure if the players are complacent, he'll be the one shouting in their ears and said, you know, let's get this over the line.
Do you think they're going to win against Lion City Sailors? Or is it going to be a draw? Or are the Sailors going to make it very, very interesting?
I think this title race, it's going to... When I come back here, we're going to see another twist again. So I expect a twist this midweek. Yeah.
I'm very interested why you think Lion City Sailors will lose against Tampines Rovers. Because I know you brought up the second half performance, but Lion City Sailors, we've said if the season went for 3 rounds, we would tip them for the title. So they look good at the moment. It's not going to be 4-1, but why do you feel like Tampines
it's a fair question, but I think you look at the two teams. I think defending-wise, Lion City Sailors have a bit to improve. You saw the highlights from Young Lions against them. I think if you're giving players like Ilhan Fandi a chance in, players like Boris, players like Jordan Webb are going to punish you. I think in terms of defense, Kaishu, Abdil or even Tajali haven't quite hit the mark yet that you would expect from Lion City Sailors. So I do think there's going to be chances at both ends. If Stipe plays, I think Lion City Sailors will probably take their chances as well. But I have more confidence in the likes of Boris and Jordan, Yasser Hanapi punishing Lion City Sailors at the other end.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're saying Tampines are winning the next 2 matches, then it makes the rest academic. But let's just humor me on this. Albirex Niigata up against Tanjong Pagar and Hougang, how many points?
Initially, before what Philippe said, I was thinking they will get the 6 points as well. But I mean, he brought up an excellent point about the field itself. So it brings into question the different elements of play here in the final game against Hougang. So I do think now that maybe Hougang have a chance to pull off an upset, perhaps a draw. And another factor that I'd like to possibly add into the mix is the fact that this whole local analogy. So do local players from Hougang United think that, oh, we want to keep the title to a Singaporean team? Will they go in extra harder in this game? It's something that we have also discussed. And I think that will happen. So based off what Philippe said, I think the last game, Albirex will probably draw against Hougang.
And also Hougang might be in contention for AFC Cup qualification, so they might have something to play for. Never mind giving it to a local side. They have their own thing to worry about. Lion City Sailors, you're saying they're going to lose against Tampines, victory against Balestier final day. Decent season, 3rd position, AFC Cup football next season. All right, so let's have a look at the fixtures that we can look forward to on Wednesday. Yeah, Lion City Sailors up against Tampines Rovers. That is the one to watch for from the Bishan Stadium. Young Lions up against Geylang International. Plenty at stake there for Geylang International, who need to rebound after the defeat against Balestier. Albirex Niigata themselves have to rebound from defeat against Tanjong Pagar United. And Hougang and Balestier, that's a big one in terms of AFC Cup football qualification. Well, thank you so much to the both of you for being on set. Philippe, we will see you for the next episode. And as you said, we might see things completely different. Akbar Nawas was tipping Albirex Niigata to win it easily. Deepan, we'll see whether your predictions are right. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to hearing much more from you on the final whistle. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow, what an episode. What a season. Anything can happen. As I said in the last episode, it's got much more tighter. What will happen? Let's get to the next episode where we will review Lion City Sailors up against Tampines Rovers. Till then, take care, stay safe.